Hi, my name is Melcha, and today I'm going to be walking you through 3 different strategies for Wario Stadium and Mario Kart World, all of it varying difficulty levels for beginner, medium, and difficult players, or advanced players I should say. We're going to be walking you through them step by step. Let's see what we're going to be learning today. I'm actually going to start with this one over here. This is the intermediate trick, called the coin route because there's lots of coins on this sort of rail, which is really great. This right here is the beginner route that if you're just starting out, this will give you some good sort of inkling about how movement's going to look like in this game. That's the beginning route, and this next clip is going to be the advanced route, as advanced as 1 week into the game can possibly be at this point, but with some practice, you should be able to implement the advanced route into your worldwides, into knockout tours, things like that. So yeah, pretty impressive skips all things considered. We're going to start with the beginner skip and see where we can go from there. Let's take a look at the approach to this one. Generally want to take these mounds just like normal, do some tricks. The philosophy here is that going onto these boost ramps, the mounds if you will, if you go straight is pretty slow, so we want to avoid that. Less airtime the better. What we're going to do is instead go off of here at an angle, trick onto the wall here, and trick pretty much immediately to get as little airtime as possible. Look at how little airtime we got. Rinse and repeat for this other trick as well. Hold on just for a little bit longer, but you'll get the timing eventually with regards to actually getting on the track in a quick manner. And this is the easiest of the tricks. If you got this one down pat, then why not move on to the intermediate trick, which this is a Nintendo intended sort of route to go on. It's just actually getting to this trick, which is the problem. This happens around 5 seconds after the trick we just discussed. Take this trick not as sharp as you normally would, just take a pretty wide line here. What you actually want to do is trick onto this left wall here. And what you want to do is try to get onto this left wall as sharply as possible. Ride the wall and boom, we're here. That's pretty much the skip. If you want to end it here, just ride the rail all the way down here and you're good to go. But if you want to go a little bit faster, maybe edge out the competition a little bit, what can we do to be a little bit faster? Let's pay attention to these posters towards the bottom of the I guess it's a wall. And right now we're going to be looking at purple posters. Look at the purple poster that Pauline is just about to pass. As Pauline passes the purple poster, we want to trick right in order to get a bit of speed. But guess what? There's another purple poster coming right up. You want to trick here as well, trick right, get a little bit more speed, and then trick off this rail. That way we're saving a good amount of time, taking a pretty good line, and getting a bunch of coins, which is especially useful in things like time trials or in versus races. Great, with all that out of the way, let's take everything that we've learned and implement them into our advanced strategy. Not in Salty Speedway, but over here. I'm starting at the beginning of the time trial. What's our approach? We need to take a pretty sharp angle to the left coming up, so it's important that we're at the middle of the stage here, not towards the left too much or the right. So if you're approaching this level in Knockout Tour, for example, you want to be dead in the center. Easy so far, we trick here, and this is where we want to start turning left and aligning ourselves to the next track. But where do we want to actually aim? Let's take a look at this poster on the wall. Wario's Premium Scrap. I hit the left side of this poster over here, but you ideally want to go to the left of this poster actually. But hopefully if you get onto this poster, let's take a look at it in action once more. You're going to get onto this wall up here, no problem. At this point, if you're going for world record attempts, if you're, time trials, or if you're just really confident, you want to take a bunch of left tricks and try to get onto the ramp that we're going to get to. I find this to be pretty difficult and inconsistent. So what I like to do better is once I reach this black part of the rail when it ends, do a couple down tricks. That way we get perfectly aligned for the next part. This next part is very important as it can be pretty risky and you can lose some time if you don't do it correctly. You want to trick onto the right part of this wall to the right. The idea is we don't want to end up, see where this sort of wall partitions and there's a vertical line, we don't want to end up there. We want to get onto this right wall as soon as possible. And we're going to find out why very shortly. Once we get up here onto this wall and we ride the wall up, we have very little time to actually trick to the right to get to where we want to go. If you get here too late, then you're going to have to ride this rail pretty slowly, which is not what we want to do. In other words, essentially, you can also get item bombed here, but in worldwides, because someone can send a shell down this rail and hit you, essentially, which you don't want to do. We want to avoid that. Additionally, it's better for time trials. Explanations aside, trick right here, trick left here, and here's where we want to time our down tricks pretty specifically. We want to trick here pretty quickly, and we want to down trick to make sure we get a boost. We're going pretty fast. As soon as we see how Pauline's vehicle has boost sparks here, we actually want to go ahead and make sure she has boost sparks here, so we get as much distance as possible going into this next track. If you're going to do some time trials here, this is where things may differ a little bit. Want to do a left trick, right trick, and then a down trick to align. But if you're doing a worldwide, I like to play it a little safe and do a couple down tricks here in order to align with this rail. This rail is more temperamental than it might seem. It sometimes throws you off for no apparent reason. It's pretty strict. So we want to make sure we're aligned really well with this rail. Once you're on the rail, great, you've done most of the trick. Next is the dismount. We will actually want to go ahead and wait a little bit on this rail, do a down trick. When I reference down tricks, you want to trick while holding down on the rails for less airtime. Once you've down tricked, you want to immediately right trick back onto the stage, get a bunch of speed, then not bounce onto the rail nor go onto this stage, but you then want to play the stage as normal, and oh, wouldn't you know, you got your coin route lined up right there, which is really good. So these are just a couple skips that you can do in this stage. It's not all of them. In fact, there's a skip coming up in this portion, which it's sort of like a low trick. I haven't figured out how to do it yet, but if you figure out how to do it, definitely make your own video. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. It's very involved, a lot of moving parts, but I think everyone can learn this skip. As always, thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the video, to my channel, and thank you so much.